Will Luigi Mangione spend the rest of his life in jail? Did he actually did it? What actually happened the day of the event? Let's find out. Hi guys, my name is Alexandru Spara and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I want to look into someone that's been in the news recently, and that is Luigi Mangione. Now I want to look into his birth chart to understand and bring clarity into what was promised the moment when he was born. I want to look into why he became famous, the day of the event, and the future. So I'm going to use Vedic astrology with the sidereal system, because sidereal system is using the real position of the planets in the sky. So like this I can understand patterns and see where the planets were exactly on the moment of the event. So let's have a look into the birth chart of Luigi Mangione. Now, I do not have his birth time, so in Vedic astrology, when we don't have a birth time, we make the ascendant the moon, because the moon represents our emotions, our feelings. The moon represents how we process experiences, and the moon in his birth chart was in Leo. The moment when he was born, the moon was in Leo, and it was together with Rahu, the north node of the moon. And Leo represents identity, and the first house represents identity, and it represents also confidence and leadership and pride. So this is the first house and Leo representation. Now the moon is our inner world and how we experience things internally. And Rahu is the north node of the moon. It brings expansion and ambition and amplification. So the moment when he was born, the moon was in Uttara Phalguni nakshatra. So this part of Leo is called a lunar mansion, a nakshatra. This part of Leo represents the patron of partnership. Okay, this is where the moon was the moment when he was born. And Uttara Phalguni symbolized service and duty. So he felt like he has a strong sense of service and duty. And the ruling planet for this part of the zodiac is the sun. And the ruler of Leo as well is the sun. And the deity is Aryaman, which is the god of contracts. And it is a service-oriented nakshatra. So it has a strong sense of duty and justice. So we can see already from the position of the moon that this person experiences feelings of justice and duty, and that he needs to act over something that he believes in. So I'm going to look next into the ninth house, because this house is very important, because here we have three planets. We have the Sun, Mars, and Saturn. And the ninth house is Aries. So the ninth house deals with philosophy and belief system and long distance travel. The ninth house deals with higher education and justice. And it deals with law and relationship as well. So we have the Sun in Aries. Now, the Sun in Aries is the most strong placement, is the strongest placement that someone can have, because it is exalted in Aries, the Sun. So from the moon, we can already see that the Sun is as strongest as it can get. And the Sun is the vitality. So this can give a powerful internal sense of, I have to act according to what I believe, right? Because the sun is shining, you know, it's number one. It's expresses leadership through Leo ascendant. So Mars as well is in Aries, and Mars is also a very strong planet because it is in the house that it rules. Aries is ruled by Mars. So we can see the strongest sun that someone can have. We have an exceptionally strong Mars sitting in the ninth house, and that can turn beliefs into action. It's more like, I believe something, therefore I need to do something, because Mars is the planet of action and drive, and Aries as well, it is action-orientated sign. So whatever he believes in, because it's the ninth house, he has the power and the courage to act on it and bring it up. Belief into action is all about the ninth house with Mars there and the Sun there. Now we also have Saturn in Aries. So Saturn is debilitated in Aries, so it cannot express itself fully, and Saturn represents restrictions and institutions and consequences. So I'm looking at the 7th house next. In the 7th house, we have Jupiter and Ketu, and they are in Aquarius. And the reason why I'm looking at this, it's because Jupiter represents wisdom and teachers and beliefs, and Ketu represents detachment and loss and separation. So Aquarius is concerned with society and groups and systems. So we can see that this axis, which is Aries, Aquarius, Leo, Aquarius, it is a deep tension between who am I, because Leo is the first house. The first house is all about self. Who am I, right? Like who you are, your personality, and individuality. So it's all about who you are and what does society own me, because Leo is the individual and Aquarius is the collective, because Aquarius is concerned with the collective. And Leo, it's the first house, so it's all about individuality. Now I'm going to look next at Uranus and Neptune. I'm using the outer planets as well. They are in Capricorn, the 6th house. And Capricorn is all about institutions. Uranus is the planet of sudden and unexpected events. So we can see and understand that there is a disruption here. We see that there's a sudden event with the institutions because 6th house deals with health. And this is one of the reasons why he became famous, if I can say that. Now, for the planets to have power, in Vedic astrology, we have Mahadashas. So that's period of our lives. We have good periods, less good periods, happy, sad periods in our life. And each period is ruled by a planet. And he is in Rahu Mahadasha in this moment in time, as well as in 2024. So that means that Rahu Mahadasha, Rahu period, can bring themes of obsession and ambition. So this planet is very, very important. It's actually not a planet, it's the north node of the moon, and Ketu is the south node of the moon. So right now in August 2026, he is in Rahu Saturn period of his life. So here's the symbolism. Rahu means amplification and obsession. Saturn brings restrictions, and it represents institutions and consequences. It's the planet of karma and authority. The 9th house deals with beliefs and morality and justice and philosophy and law. Now Aries is a sign of action and confrontation, and Sun with Mars there brings authority and action. So Rahu Saturn is activating a very strong individual versus system axis in this chart in this present moment. Now he recently said that he did it, the event from 4th of December 2024. I remember that it was everywhere on the internet and it's still on the news everywhere. And right now there is a nodal reverse in Luigi's case. And nodal reverse represents when the north node of the moon is in the same place where the south node of the moon was the moment when he was born, and the other way around. So it happens around every 9.5 years for all of us, multiple times in our life. And another return, it's around 18.5 years, every 18.5 years. Another return means a life reevaluation, and another reverse means a period of tension. So he's definitely going into a period of tension. Now, this happens for 1.5 years. Also, Mars is a trigger. So wherever you have Mars transiting is triggering something in your birth chart. And right now, Mars is in Gemini, in Ardra Nakshatra. So this part of Gemini is called Ardra Nakshatra. And this part of Gemini deals with breaking illusions and represents storms. It is definitely an emotional storm for him because we're looking at the chart from the moon, which represents his emotional body. So this is how he perceives his experiences. He understands his experiences. So my interpretation for why he said he committed that action is that because of this period of tension, happening between Rahu and Ketu, now north node of the moon and south node of the moon, Mars activated this part of his chart to make him break the illusion of him denying it, doing it, and say he did it. So he said it. The time has come for him to reveal what's been underneath. So why is that? Why now? Because it is the period of tension between Rahu and Ketu. Every 9 years is happening. Mars activated that part of the zodiac. And let's remember that he said this on August 14th. Okay, so for 1.5 years, he said that he hasn't done it. Now suddenly he said he did it. You know, the event that happened with that happened on December of 2024. Now there was an eclipse on August 12th, a total solar eclipse on August 12th, 2026. And you know what? It was in Cancer zodiac. And Cancer zodiac is the 12th house from the moon for him. So the 12th house deals with the way we exit this world, with sleep, like we get out of this world every night through sleep, right? Jails, hospitals, spiritual retreats. So the 12th house is the last house, is where we keep the things hidden from the world, because it's the last house. So I believe that this eclipse activated what was hidden for him to bring up to the light, because that's what an eclipse does. It makes things come from the dark to the light. And we are also numerologically in a 9 universal month, and number 9 deals with things coming back from the past, things that are not solved, so that we can acknowledge them and accept them and solve them and move on. So definitely he has, because we're looking from the moon, he has a lot of emotions that are coming back from the past for him. So this eclipse activated all of these thoughts, all of these feelings. So I believe it is a very strong time for him emotionally. And I want to look into next, I want to look into the day of the event, 4th of December 2024. So I'm going to add to the screen the day of 4th of December of 2024 to see and understand where were the planets in his chart on that time. So you can also let me know in the comments where you seeing this from, because I want to see how far it gets. Rahu Mahadasha is active on 2024. So this planet was very important, the north node of the moon. And it was transiting the 8th house. So it was activating the themes of the 8th house, meaning death and rebirth and hidden things. And the 8th house deals with psychology and things that you cannot see, that are deep inside. It is a very deep house. It was also at 8 degrees and 44 minutes of Pisces in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So this portion of Pisces is called the serpent of the cosmic depth. And the deity is Air Budnya, associated with deep hidden forces. Now, Saturn on that day was opposing the moon, and Saturn spends 2.5 years in one sign. And when Saturn is opposing the moon, it brings emotional pressure and restrictions. So the moon wants safety, right? And Saturn brings duty and fear and consequences. It is a karmic planet. It is definitely a period of emotional heaviness for him. Now, Mars in Cancer zodiac at 11 degrees and 55 minutes in Pushya Nakshatra. So this part of Cancer zodiac activates themes of strong sense of duty and responsibility, doing what must be done. So he felt strongly activated by Mars that he has to do what he has to do. The moon on that day was in Sagittarius, 26 degrees and 40 minutes in Uttara Ashada Nakshatra, meaning victory and lasting success. So this part of Sagittarius means victory. So the moon is the daily activator and Mars is the monthly activator. It represents that the actions taken that day will be successful, and he was successful at what he did. So now I want to look into the future a little bit. December 18, 2026. He will have a sentencing hearing on December 18, 2026. At that hearing, the judge is expected to impose his federal sentence. Now, on that day, Jupiter and Mars, the planet of law and judgment and authority, with Mars, the planet of action and confrontation, they are together in the first house. So it's all about identity, the moon, right? It's a sensitive point in a birth chart. The person is directly experiencing a major event and a decision. Rahu, because he's still in Rahu Mahadasha, intensifies conflict and opponents because it's in the sixth house, and difficult circumstances, right? Because the sixth house deals with daily activities and enemies, and it is also the house of health. While the 12th house is the house of hidden enemies, the sixth house is the house of enemies that you can see, your opponent. And Moon with Saturn and Neptune are going to transit on the 8th house. Remember the 8th house? So this means emotional pressure, Moon, consequences, Saturn, and uncertainty, Neptune. Neptune is the planet of, it brings fog. So it's the planet of illusions. Now Ketu is in the 12th house, the south node of the moon, which represents losses. And it brings separation and isolation. It's activated in the house of jails, right? Because we're talking about jail. So Rahu activates the struggle because sixth house deals with struggles and daily activities, and he is in Rahu Mahadasha. It is opposing, which is opposition is challenging aspect. It is opposing the 12th house, the house of jail, right? So that's not good for him. That deals with the way we exit this world, like jails and hospitals, right? And Ketu in the 12th house activates separation from ordinary life. This is making a major legal consequence involving restriction or isolation. So I believe that whatever the sentence will be on December 18th, I believe that he is definitely going to stay in jail for a long time. Let's see. All these decisions are being taken while he's in Rahu Mahadasha. But as I said, we have periods and periods in our life. So that indicates that this period is going to end in 2038 when he's going to enter into a new period of his life until 2054, which is Jupiter Mahadasha, Jupiter period. And Jupiter is the big benefic, okay? So Jupiter brings also abundance, and it is the planet of protection and good luck. So if he will receive life in jail for his actions, I believe that if something will change, or even if he's not going to receive life in jail sentence, if something will change, it's going to be, I believe, in this period, because Jupiter brings blessings as well. So if we're looking at September 2038 until to September 2054, in September 2038, Jupiter will be transiting in the 12th house, with transiting Uranus. So the planet of blessings is going to transit the 12th house from the moon, which represents jail. And it will be there with Uranus. And you know what? Uranus is going to be there for 7 years, while Jupiter for 1 year. And Uranus brings shocks and sudden unexpected events. So I believe that while, you know, from when Uranus 2038 is going to be there for 7 years, I believe that something shocking will happen for him in jail. Probably he's going to be moved, or he might even be released Jupiter brings blessings. We're talking about a very long time ahead in the future. Saturn will transit over his moon. So when we have Saturn close to the moon in the sign before the moon, remember 2.5 years Saturn stays in a sign. The sign when the house of the moon sits in, and the house next to the after the moon, in total is going to be 7.5 years. So this is called Sadhisati period, and Saturn will be transiting as well there with Uranus in the 12th house before 3 years, 2038. So we're talking about 2036, 2037, and in 2038 it will be over his moon. So this is called Sadhisati, which means 7.5. So 7.5 years. So this is a period of challenges. We all going through periods of challenges in our life, depending on when the Saturn planet is going to transit over your moon or close to the moon, with one house before and one house after, and in the house where the moon sits in your chart. So it's happening 2-3 times in our life, maybe more, 4 times. And for 7.5 years, I see that he's going to have challenges. So it's definitely not going to have an easy time there on that time. But I want to look a little bit at 2043 until 2045, because Jupiter, he's going to be in the period of Jupiter, right? And Jupiter sits in the 7th house from the moon and is together with Ketu, the south node of the moon. And between 2043 May and August 2045, this house, the 7th house, is going to be very active because he's going to be in the period of Jupiter Ketu. So this is calculated based on where the moon is the moment when you was born. So Jupiter Mahadasha and Ketu Antardasha, 7th house is going to be very active. And you know what? In 2045, around the beginning of March, he has in the 7th house a stellium transiting. He has many planets there. He has Jupiter entering the 7th house. Jupiter stays there for 1 year. Rahu, Pluto, Venus, Sun, Mars, and Mercury just exit his 7th house. And in the 12th house, Uranus in the last degree. So we can see from here that the 7th house is Aquarius. There's definitely, there's Jupiter there, there's Ketu there. This is the period that's activating that house, and the whole, almost the whole planets are going to be there in the 7th house. So definitely is all about Aquarius themes and the systems and the collective, and the 7th house deals also with partners and partnerships. So he might experience a change in this period as well, especially because Uranus is in the still in the 12th house. So until 2045, Uranus is going to be there, and he might experience a change. He might be moved to another jail or released. And we also have again Ketu in the 1st house. So he has another return again. So that means again a period of tension. It might be a period of tension for his freedom, for his emotions. So of course we're talking about 20 years in the future. We are in 2026, we're talking about 2045, so 19 years. And obviously the law is going to be different all over the world. Many things will happen. Many things will happen in the next 5 years. Many things will happen that will change the world in 2030, in 2029, starting, and 2030, we're gonna live in a completely new world in 20 years. So I'm sure that no matter his sentence that he will receive on December 18, 2026, things can change for everyone. Nothing is going to be the same in 20 years. So I believe that if he will receive life in prison, this period of September 2038 to September 2054, especially 2043 to 2045, this period is, especially 2045, this period is going to be very active for him, so there will be changes for him, and we will have to wait and see his sentence. We will have to see how the planets are spinning, because the planets will continue to spin no matter what law will change in the world. The planets will continue to spin, right? So we will be affected by these transits, all of us. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you're going to subscribe. If I brought to you more clarity into his chart, his actions, and his future, let me know in the comments. If you want to see someone else that's in the news, or someone else that has different patterns or similar patterns into the chart, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you're gonna give a like, make sure you're gonna subscribe, and let me know where are you seeing this from. So may this whole present and future be a period of blessings for all of us, and let me know if you enjoy the video. Thank you.